It's Thursday of another beautiful week. And as we continue in our talking about finances, I want to talk about the principle of giving. I'm a firm believer in the principle of being a generous giver. While this is without a question a biblical principle, beyond just reading that it is the right thing to do, I have also experienced for myself the great blessings and benefits of putting God first in my finances through tithes and offerings. One day, an old man was teaching a principle to his son and shared with him a metaphor. "Son," he said, "there's a fight going on inside of me. It's a terrible fight between two wolves. One wolf is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, lies, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. And son, the same fight," the father said, "is going on inside of you." The son thought for a minute and then asked, "Which wolf will win?" The old man replied simply, "The one that you feed." Within the soul of every Christian, there is constantly a fight to either trust God and His commands or to trust self along with our feelings and our desires. This fight is never more real and intense than in the area of finances. Do I feed my trust in God by following His ways, or do I feed my trust in self by depending on my own sufficiency? Remember that back on Monday we established that we are to be stewards, and as stewards we must be found faithful. Faithful stewardship requires faithfulness in the area of giving and generosity. There are three ways that I would suggest we should consider when it comes to giving. First of all, make sure that you are faithfully tithing 10%. That's the biblical amount of your income to your local church. Malachi 3:10 tells us, "Bring the tithe into the storehouse so that there will be food in God's house." The principle is simply this: you should tithe at the place that you are fed. None of us would go to Harris Teeter and get grocery baskets full of food and then go down to Walmart to pay the bill. No, we pay where we are fed. The second way that we can be generous in giving is to start faithfully giving an offering to God. Often this best serves the work of the kingdom by also giving that through your local church. Financial expert Dave Ramsey clarifies the difference between tithe and offering in a very simple way with this quote. He said, "A tithe is an amount, a percentage of your income, and an offering is anything given above and beyond that, but not in place of the tithe. Offerings are how many church initiatives and programs are successfully accomplished. Offerings are how the basic operation of the church is achieved. Offerings are how buildings and land are purchased and paid for. Offerings are how we reach our community and how we send forth missionaries into cities and nations around the world." And then lastly, identify another charity to contribute toward. In addition to giving a consistent tithe and an offering from your weekly and your monthly income, I would ask, or maybe state, that we should consider contributing to another charity beside what you give to the church. Perhaps you want to give toward helping orphan children, or you want to support an adoption agency, you want to help feed the homeless, or helping single mothers. We are commanded in the scripture, it's not a suggestion, but a commandment for us to help the poor, the orphans, and the widows. Giving to others helps us to fulfill the biblical command and puts action into our compassion. So, be a generous giver. Don't hoard what you have been blessed with, but be a generous giver and allow your finances to be blessed of God.